good afternoon and welcome to Lonato, Northern Italy. We're live from the 2024 European Shotgun Championships, which have been taking place at the Concaverde shooting ground, a world-class shooting facility which some of you back at home will be familiar with. You have joined us to watch the Skeet trio men medal matches. The bronze medal match will take place first, followed by the gold medal match. This is the last day of the competition here in Lonato, and sadly, these will be our final two matches. It's warmed up to plus 25 degrees. We have small gusts of wind, but nothing terrible, although sometimes the targets have been affected in the previous finals today. And it's been a very busy day with them. We had 3 finals having taken place already. Skeet trio women and men juniors, as well as the Skeet trio women matches, or finals if you like. So if you've missed any of the action and you'd like to catch up, please visit the ESC website where you will find the links to all the videos. You can catch up on the action as well on the ESC YouTube channel, and you can find lots of photographs on Facebook and Instagram social media platforms. Are you just seeing some details about the targets which are being used here, which are eco-friendly targets that caused us a little bit of trouble in the 2 days of the Skeet finals, well, in the 3 days of the Skeet finals. My name is Elena Allen, and alongside me I have Freddie Killinder from Great Britain. Thank you, Freddie, for joining me.
It's my absolute pleasure. It's interesting you mentioned the targets. I think we have a bit of a challenge in shotgun shooting at the moment with the way that a lot of people are thinking about pollution, not just obviously in terms of the environmental impact, but also in terms of the noise pollution that is going on. And I know certainly it's a challenge for us back home in Britain. Lots of people are trying to think about what we can do to ensure the future of our wonderful sport, to make sure that the neighbours don't mind too much.
Well, I think the noise issue, one of the things you've raised, that's quite a difficult one. I mean, the pollution they are making eco-friendly targets, so that's a big tick. The noise pollution and the lead pollution, for me, it's slightly controversial as well between lead and steel, so we're not going to go into it here. But how do you catch the shot?
Well, just as you say, we are at Lonato, which is one of the world's best ranges, certainly, and we have a great example here of how you can actually catch the shot. We will see a little bit later when the athletes start shooting. They have a huge, great bank, a bund ahead of them. That is covered in plastic. So actually when they shoot, the shot runs down the plastic bank and they can collect it all and recycle all of that lead. And
which is most effective, the banking is most effective for trap shooting, slightly harder to catch some of the Skeet shots because of the different angles and the distance involved in the way we shoot the targets here. But yes, it is a start, and there are more and more shooting ranges around the world who have done the same as here, but it is quite expensive to install. But the noise pollution, the banking can stop it as well, but not entirely. And it's always difficult, particularly in Great Britain. That causes issues. You have new people moving in, starting living next to a shooting ground which has existed for many, many, many years, and they managed to close the shooting ground down or reduce the shooting hours. And you've seen, this is the man I mentioned previously in some of my commentary. It's Ivan Carella. He was there with his wife just a short time ago on the screen, the president of the shooting range, and his father was one of those founding members of this shooting ground. And this is Andri. She was one of the earlier finalists. Andri from Cyprus, Andri Eleftheriou of Cyprus. And the shooters are just getting ready, doing some gun mounting on stations and on the range. actually taking it in turns and clearing their guns before they will walk off, and then we will have the bronze medal match with the shooters being introduced before they start the proceedings. The gold medal participants will actually wait in the preparation area while the first match takes place.
It's quite interesting actually that many of the athletes won't have actually been able to train on this range at all before they actually turn up to their final. It's just the way that the schedules run here, and at major competitions that you know, they might have had the opportunity to shoot a few finals pairs 4 or 5 days ago before the individual competition started, but since then it's quite possible that they haven't had the chance at all.
Well, quite a few of them haven't had the opportunity. I've obviously sat here through all of the finals at the European Championships, and this is something we actually mentioned in our previous Freddie just having a laugh. He's quite shocked that I managed to mention it, probably, I don't know, but it's true. All the qualification rounds are done in a different way to the final formats. None of the athletes can shoot the reverse doubles on 3 and 5 in there once the qualification starts, and that's what makes it so difficult. So some of the athletes here would have shot 4. So there's 3 days of individual qualification, then mixed team qualification, and the trio team qualifications today, and not once would have they shot the reverse pairs on 3 and 5. And you can see examples. It takes a little bit of time to settle, to find your rhythm, to find the right lead, because they are, for me, they are the harder doubles on this range. Well, not on this range, sorry, in the sequence of targets that shooters shoot. But in a way, because we have the points system, this what makes it a little bit fairer. You can have a bad day and still come back and put in a strong performance. And we are ready with the presentation of the trio men gold medal participants, which is going to be, sorry, excuse my mistake, the bronze medal match is about to, the participants are about to be introduced. So we have Team Cyprus going against Team Georgia. So this is Sara Fanciolacci, our announcer. So Team Cyprus are being represented by Kleanthis Varnavides, Petros Anglouzidis is the middle shooter that you can see on your screens, and I'm sure a lot of you will recognize George Achilleos. And they're being supported by their coach, Christakis Christoforou. We've seen him a few times already. So Team Cyprus have made it to the final stages quite a few times. And Team Georgia are to be introduced next, and they're being represented by Yaroslav Startsev, David Kvatadze, and Roman Gogoladze. And this is our lovely Yelizaveta Bayarshinova. She's supporting her senior team here as the coach, because Givishingele has gone home. So she has to do the coach's job. And she commentated alongside me here today in the first final, which was Skeet Trio Women Juniors. She's had an incredible competition. She's won 2 bronze medals, 1 individual, 1 in the mixed team junior events. And this is our jury in charge, Tamas Imnishvili, a fantastic shot himself in his days. And the referee in charge is Gaspare Gaetano Guzzo from Italy. is going to have a bit of a difficult job on his hand because of the problems we've been having with these hard targets. You have to watch for little bits that sometimes come off instead of the target breaking or the powder being released and helping the referee to establish where it was a hit or a miss.
You certainly do. I think also with the shot and the wad coming out, it can be very difficult to determine one from the other. And it's a problem that I know countless referees have had over the years. Anyway, we just have our first shooter stepping up to the stand for his first 2 pairs on station 3.
Just for those of you who are joining us for the first time, firstly, welcome. Thank you for joining us. And I will quickly tell you how the scoring is going to work because it is different to the individual and mixed team skeet matches. So athletes will shoot 2 doubles, regular and reverse, on stations 3, 4, 5, and then back to 3 and 4. After each team completes their 60 targets, we should have the winning team. We're using a point system in these finals, so after each station, the team with the highest number of hit targets out of a combined total score of 12 will win 2 points. So each team member, because they're shooting 2 doubles, that's 4 each, times 3, that's 12. Just in case you're getting a little bit confused with how this works. So on every station, 2 points are up for grabs, or 2 points to be won. The points from each series will be carried forward to the next series, or to the next station if you like, but the scores, that's number of hit or missed targets, will not. The score on each station will reset to 0. The first team to win 6 points at any stage of the match will be the winner. We have the golden hit here, so if we have a winning team before the full sequence of 60 targets is completed, the winning team will be declared the winner and the match will be stopped. So, however, if the competition goes the full distance and the teams are still tied on 5 points each after the 60 targets have been completed, the winning team will be decided by a shoot-off. And just one other thing to add, that the shooting sequence, and that's which team shoots first, will alternate between the 2 teams after each station. So Team Cyprus are shooting here first. On station 4, Team Georgia will go first.
Cyprus started off with a very great score there, 11 hits out of the 12. It's also very interesting to watch the different techniques between the different athletes on the Cypriot team. Leanthus starting much more slowly and steadily, and Petros and Mr. Kelios being much faster shooters.
Well, George has a reputation for being a fast shooter. He used to be coached by Tonino, and the technique depended on the lots of cartridges being shot, or lots of targets being shot. So George is quite unique in this aspect, and those shooters who were around some years ago, well, 15, 20 years ago, would know George was well famous for executing that technique perfectly, and he shoots very sharp, crisp, but to do this style you have to shoot quite a lot of ammunition. Well, what's lovely to see in this bronze medal match, we have the youngest shooter of the match is Leanthus from Cyprus, who is 22, and the oldest shooter, which is David Kvatadze, who is 63. He was 63 yesterday. So it's fabulous to see that age is no obstacle to making finals and winning medals. As I also mentioned earlier, the fine example of Abdullah Al-Rashidi from Kuwait, who won the bronze medal not just in Tokyo, at the Tokyo Olympics, but also in Rio.
It's interesting also how the dynamic of the sort of in the psychology changes between stands. If you're going on as one of the shooters, knowing that you have to hit all of the targets, especially as the second team on a stand, the pressure that comes onto you is quite significant, because it's not the same as in an individual competition where you're competing primarily for yourself and your own achievements, of course representing your nation, but here it's also your fellow athletes that you don't want to disappoint.
That's a good point. So Team Cyprus took the 2 points after the first station. So after station 3, Cyprus lead on 2 points to Team Georgia's 0 points. I actually know that was a hit. Yeah, well spotted by the referee as well. So we are actually at a quite good angle to see the high target hits or misses, but it's harder for us to see on the low target house. Yeah, and I think from what you were saying just now, if you are the team going in the first position and you have a good start, you definitely put on a lot of pressure on the second team. But at the same time, if you have a poor start, you give the other team a bit of a chance and a bit of a room to make mistakes.
You give them an easy ride through.
That's right. And particularly important on stations 3 and 5, where you have a bit, for me, you have that bit more pressure because of the reverse doubles.
Well, I think that all comes down to the way that you train and the way you practice. I think a lot of countries are now starting to look at trying to include training on the reverse pairs on 3 and 5 in their normal training routines.
And that's the first miss for the Georgian team, who so far have done fantastic. So out of the 10 targets, at the moment, they're just 1 target down. But just 1 more double to shoot on 4 for Raman. And he misses another target. So it's 8 hits. Sorry, it's 10 hits out of 12 for Team Georgia. And let's see if Cyprus can do better. So 2 points at stake.
Kleanthis here was a junior European champion, or rather a silver medalist at the European Championships recently, and now obviously competing for their senior team. Seems to have sped up a little bit with his shooting since station 3 now. Don't know whether that's the adrenaline pushing him forward.
All the pressure of being in this final can happen.
Well, exactly.
So we have Petros now ready to shoot on station 4. He was the silver World Cup medalist in the mixed team event in Larnaca in 2023. And also 3rd at the European Championships in Nosik in 2021 and Lonato 2019. And here we have our first protest. Yeah, but it was well spotted by the female side referee. And as we just said at the start of the match, this is not an easy one to referee. So
No.
I don't see Georgia dropping 2 targets. I think Team Cyprus are going to take the 2 points here.
Well, he's got, I believe, 16 World Cup medals to his name. So he's certainly not a newbie at this game.
He's a very experienced and highly decorated athlete. He's been to quite a few Olympics, amongst Sydney, Beijing, London, Tokyo, many medals to Georgia's name. But as we predicted, Team Cyprus have taken the 2 points. They've added it to their tally. They are leading on 4 points to Team Georgia's 0. But in fairness, if you look on paper, Cyprus look like a stronger team.
They certainly do. They certainly do. And now I think they have the advantage going on to the last station. They've got 4 points against the Georgian 0. And so the pressure will be on the Georgian team here.
Oh, for sure. But I think in terms of the funding and the training, Team Georgia have done exceptionally well to actually make it to this final. I think they've got to be proud of what they've achieved.
They have. It's another very interesting point that not many people discuss is the way that different countries fund and support their athletes. There are many of us who are sort of almost like amateurs in terms of we have other jobs outside the sport, and we treat our sport almost as a hobby, one that we're very dedicated to, obviously, but one that we have to fund from our other jobs and other work. And then there are many athletes that are here through their national sport federation, through the army, through the police, and it becomes very interesting in terms of how that helps and supports the athletes to perform in the longer term and through their journey to try and earn medals for their nation in the Olympics and other events such as this at the European Games and other World Cups.
In my experience, also it is difficult sometimes to explain to certain teams that you're actually self-funding, because some very lucky countries have enough funding to ensure their shooters never have to pay for anything, and they almost struggle to understand that others do not. Because I've spent quite a bit of time on various committees, and this is one of the things I did try and put across that. But anyway, so here we are with Team Georgia, who have other jobs, who do not, who do treat shooting as their hobby, and I believe that most of the Cypriots here are actually funded by their federation. And that's why it's so great to have the two nations together in this final. And at the moment, we have Team Cyprus on two misses. Team Georgia have one, but still too early to say if they manage to snatch the 2 points from Cyprus, whether it goes to 1 point each, or I think that was was that a time violation?
I think so.
And that is a shame.
It's a yellow card, but that's not a missed target yet.
Not yet.
I think I hasten to add here that shouldn't take away anything from the success and accolades that are awarded and given to those nations that are able to support their athletes in a more full-time capacity. It's just something to bear in mind in terms of the way that people are able to train and perform.
And that's just affected him, I think, and that is the golden hit. And we have Team Cyprus win this bronze medal match. And unfortunately, Team Georgia are going to end up in that dreaded 4th place. But fantastic result for the athletes to be here, to be part of this final. Absolutely well done to you.
As James Bond once said, so close but no cigar, as they say.
And unfortunately, that is that's always the case with the 4th place. But well done, Team Georgia, and congratulations to Team Cyprus on their bronze medal. We will have the Skeet Trio Men gold medal match in a few minutes' time. We can see the athletes are just getting ready out to the right of us, and they will walk on to the shooting arena and will start shooting. The last medal match of this European Shotgun Championships. A little bit sad that it is the last match, but all good things have to come to an end. And Freddie, just a quick mention that you had the most fantastic qualification in the individual match. You shot 124 out of 125.
Yeah, I was very lucky to shoot so well. It's a little bit of work going on behind the scenes. I always think that actually when you get to a competition, it's not the work that happens almost on the day. It's the unseen work that goes in behind when one is at home and training with the fantastic support team behind the scenes. Obviously, what we do here on the day is what is seen by the world and the public. But I was very lucky to shoot well, and we had some quite tough conditions, and a lot of other people found it a bit of a challenge. And now we have the gold and silver medal match coming on, which is the Polish and Czech teams.
And the athletes are walking onto the shooting range to be introduced to those of you watching from home and to those people who are here in the stands supporting their teams. So Team Poland are going into this match in the first position. They're being represented by Kasper Baksalari, Wiktor Kwieciński and Jakub Veris. and they're being coached by Miroslav Rzepkowski. I do believe he used to shoot himself some years ago, and that is our lovely side referee who was doing a great job earlier on, spotting all the little bits. It's not very often you actually see Polish men in skeet going into, not lately anyway, not as of late. So they've done incredibly well to be going into this match in the top position as the highest qualified team.
And they're obviously a very, very young team here. It's not uncommon to see people with at least sort of 10 years on each of them almost.
I don't think we've had, I mean, they've had in the women event, we've had successes recently, but not in the men's skeet, not for some years, not in my time. And these are our Czech shooters, who are Tomas Niederle, Daniel Korczak and Jakub Tomeček from the Czech Republic, and their coach is Brzechislav Dolicek. We've seen him here quite a few times over the last 3 days of the skeet finals, so the team have done quite well. Jakub, sorry, Freddie.
This is a phenomenal team, actually. Thomas Niederle is a world champion of his own right in 2019, I believe.
In Lonato.
Correct, in Lonato. And he equaled the world record then with 60 out of 60 in the final, so he's very apt at what he's about to do here. Daniel was a junior world champion in 2019 and a bronze world medalist in Rabat of this year earlier on. And of course Jakub, which many of you will know, was the European champion in 2019 and again in 2022.
And in 2019 it was at the shooting ground in Lonato, and in 2022 it was in Larnaca. But just yesterday Jakub won a bronze medal with Barbara from she was actually taking part, sorry, I can't remember her second name, but she was taking part in the earlier trio team match. So if you missed that, you can catch all the action on, as I mentioned earlier, on YouTube, or if you just go to the ESC website, you will find the links there. So they've had a successful day yesterday with their bronze medal. So he already has one medal from these championships, and he's going to add another medal. It's just a matter of what color it's going to be. We will find this out at the end of this medal match. And Team Poland have had a brilliant start with 4 hits out of 4 for Kasper, and it's Victor taking his turn to shoot on station 3. Just to remind you that we are using the point system. 2 points are to be awarded after each station has been shot to the team with the highest hits out of 12 targets on each of the stations, and the finalists will shoot station 3, 4, 5, back to 3 and 4 again, which will be the last station. If the scores are tied after 60 shots have been taken, then we will go into a tie break. But if one of the teams manages to get to 6 points before the end of the match, we will have a golden hit, and the winner will be declared, the winning team will be declared there and then.
What a splendid start from the Polish team with 12 hits out of 12. It's great to see them starting in such a strong fashion. Now we have the Czech team coming along. Tomas Niederle on his first pair, which he hits very well.
And again, what you see on the paper, it means nothing when you're out there on the range shooting. You can be the weakest team and still be the strongest team. It's all a matter of who is the best prepared mentally on that day at that time as you're pressing the trigger.
It's interesting you say that, talking about the mental side of this little game, in that, you know, the kit that we use is all so similar. Yes, sort of there are 2 or 3 main manufacturers of guns here, but the barrels are usually quite straight, and cartridge manufacturers are are often fairly similar in how they produce their ammunition. And so it really is down to the athletes and what they're thinking about when they step onto the stand and how they react to these to the targets as they come out. Are they really prepared? Are they ready to see and ready to react to what happens in front of them?
And as we can see here, Czech Republic have dropped one target, and that is enough for Team Poland to take the 2 points. Once this reverse pair is shot by Jakub, it's not going to make any difference to the score. Poland will take the 2 points and the lead. So they lead by 2 points to 0. The Czech Republic will start shooting next on station 4. So quite an interesting turn of events. Oh, it's early days, of course, but I think it's great that Team Poland show that they can put these guys, these experienced guys, under the pressure.
The fun of this sport is that any one of us can hit every target. The only question is, can you hit the targets when you are standing in front of the cameras, in front of the other athletes watching in the crowds and the spectators, when the weather is however it might be, when there's wind, sunset is coming along, and the visibility is changing. I think a lot of people forget that you know, the cameras nowadays are so fantastic that it looks as if the conditions are always immaculate, but actually sometimes on the day it's not as easy to see these targets, especially when they're going so fast and you have a lot of adrenaline pumping through your body. And here Daniel just protested the miss that was called for him, and he hit that second pair very nicely. It's quite fun to shoot with these flash targets. We don't get them in qualification, but the way that they are made, the inside of them is filled with powder, almost fairy dust as we think about it. And when you hit them, they break apart and they make these wonderful puffs that make it much more easy to see whether they've been hit, and they're a bit fun to look at.
The unfortunate thing here, for some reason, they must be so hard, so unless you're in the middle of the pattern, we haven't been seeing much of the powder. Well, we haven't been seeing any of the powder coming out when they've been just hit on the edge or on the top of the pattern. We didn't have this problem in trap, but obviously the target has been hit slightly sort of face on, whereas in Skeet, I think it's the edge on shot contacting the clay is not releasing the powder.
Well, quite often it's actually they have a little cardboard disc underneath that actually glued into place to hold the powder inside the bottom of the clay. And that obviously means that if you don't hit it with quite a few pellets in the pattern, unfortunately that there isn't a flash, and sometimes if people don't see a flash, then they don't think that the target's been hit.
But having the powder released, even if the target remains untouched, will actually, in the final, means you've hit it. And unfortunately, Team Poland are going to lose the 2 points, and Czech Republic will even the score. This is just a matter of practice for the moment, because Poland can't catch up on this station, so it will be 2-all any moment now, just as Jakub is going to take his last pair on 4. So irrelevant hit and miss. So it's 2 points each. We are going on to station 5 with Team Poland starting first. All to play for, a very closely fought match. Team Poland took the points after station 3, and then Czech Republic put the pressure and claimed the 2 points. So Team Poland can put the pressure on Czech Republic, but they have to keep hitting these targets to do that.
They do. It really does make a huge difference to the way one approaches a stand. when you walk on and you know you don't actually need to hit them all. It makes things a lot easier. I know that might sound very silly psychologically, but if you know you have a big buffer, it actually makes the whole job as an athlete trying to hit these targets a lot easier. If instead you turn up thinking, right, you know, I know the other team has hit everything. If I miss, I'm letting my team down, myself down, my country down. The pressure, it's very quick to mount. But the Polish team here did a fantastic job so far, and they have one more athlete on the stand.
That was a hit.
And that was a hit.
Well done to the referee for spotting it.
It's not always easy for the referee because they have quite a few things to keep their eyes on, whether it be the timing that the athletes are allowed to spend executing their shots, how and where they hold their guns, and it's sometimes a bit of a thankless task, as I think it is in many sports. Anyway, the Polish team did a fantastic job there, hitting 12 out of 12. And now we have Thomas Niele of the Czech team marching along, and he's drilled his first pair very nicely.
I just get a feeling that Team Poland likes going first, because when they went first on station 3, they've cleared the station, and the same here. So it'll be interesting to see if the Czech athletes can cope with that bit of extra pressure.
You're right to point that out. It's interesting, and it probably comes back to perhaps the way that they train at home. You know, are they used to a lot of pressure training? There's a lot people can do back home to simulate pressure, but nothing comes close to being out here on the day.
And there you go. That miss from the Czech athlete, from Daniel, is going to hand the 2 points to Team Poland. That's one very interesting, psychologically intense match. This is the best examples throughout all of the finals we've had here, both in trap and skeet.
You're quite right. We have a phenomenal team here, and there's absolutely nothing that can say that they can't hit the targets here. But it's all down to the psychology and what's going on between the ears.
And this was an incredibly, actually, tough match on, not much, but tough little sequence of targets on station 5, because just one miss separated the two teams, but that was enough for Team Poland, who lead away on 4 points to the Czech Republic's 2. And it's now the Czech athletes going first on station 3.
It'll be very fun to see how they perform now they're under a slightly less pressurized environment. Of course, they know that they are 2 points behind, and if they don't perform well here, that they might lose the match. But on average, they're not too far away, actually, if one looks at the statistics between the two teams. So we now have Daniel on the stand, who shot that pair incredibly quickly. And he's now stepping up for the reverse pair on station 3.
Oh, wow. That was super fast.
It certainly was.
He was ready for that.
It's nice and aggressive.
Yeah, very. Slightly quicker timing than you would expect from most of the shooters. And whereas Jakub actually shoots at a slightly different pace. And let's see.
So whatever happens now, they've set a pretty high bar for the Polish team coming along.
I'm not sure. I thought I saw a little chip, but it's too hard on the low target. But unfortunately, it's a pair loss for the Czech Republic. So a little bit of a breathing space, but only a little, marginal. Only
little, exactly. And just as you say, whatever we think back here is pretty irrelevant, actually. It's the referee on the range that decides what happens. And so there is a little bit of a breathing room for the Polish team now coming along. They know they are ahead. They know they have a bit of breathing room. And let's see how they handle the pressure.
Yeah, if Kasper manages to clear this, then he doesn't. And that will become quite interesting now, because I think the pressure is going to start.
Going to mount, just as you say.
Yes. We still have 2 more athletes to complete station 4, and that's your second miss.
So now the only thing they can do is draw. But of course they can't lose the match on this one station. I think it's very interesting when we look at shooting as a sport to see how much time athletes spend on a range, really trying hard to hit targets, trying to perfect their technique. But I can guarantee every single athlete who has appeared here at the European Championships, whether they're a junior or not, has managed to hit 25 targets on the standard round, the qualification rounds. But it's about whether they can do that under pressure.
Wow, and Team Poland managed to snatch the 1 point from the Czech team, so they move ahead on 5 points to 3. That was actually an incredible station to watch.
It certainly was. It was very, very close here. And we now have the Polish team who are shooting first. And it's going to be interesting to see how Kasper performs on this first pair.
And an interesting statistic there on your screen. Thomas Nidle is on 100 out of 100, the percentage-wise, so he hasn't missed a single target, with Jakub Veris from Poland being on 93.
It's also, just as you mentioned that, it's interesting to see how the different teams decide to order their athletes. Obviously, the Czech team put Jakub in last position. He's also shot, unfortunately here, the lowest score of the 3. And is that because he's struggling under pressure, or is that because he's in the last place? And it becomes very interesting with the sort of more junior teams and the way you try and structure things. Which athlete do you position in which place when you're following one another? Do you want your most senior athlete to begin the station to try and create the best routine? Or do you want your strongest athlete to be at the back of the field, so that if there is a miss or there's a higher pressure situation, that individual can push forward?
And may I just say that this was an excellent decision by the referee. I've watched the target, I could see a piece, and one of the side referees had also seen a piece. So the referee has given that double to Victor, which could be quite a crucial decision. And yes, you're absolutely right, Freddie. I also think it's a very interesting point about who do you put your strongest shooter first, last? Quite a difficult, really, decision.
Something that
this can potentially be the golden hit, this pair.
It certainly can be.
Yes, because if Poland if Jakub hits the last pair, and he does. Oh, wow. What an unexpected turn of events. Certainly, from my perspective, I would have had the Czech Republic as the favorite athletes to win. Wow, fantastic performance.
It certainly is. And just as you say, even if the Czech team were to hit all of their targets, they would only draw with the Polish team, and that means they only earn 1 point. But of course, 1 point would go to the Polish team. And just as you now see, it would be 6-3 as a score.
May I just say, huge congratulations from us to the medal winners, particularly to Team Poland, who are the European champions in the Skeet trio men match. Czech Republic have to settle for the silver medal, and we will have our bronze medalists from Cyprus. They are walking onto the range to join the other medalists.
And it's nothing to be sniffed at to be the second or third nation in Europe. I think it's definitely the most hotly contested continent that there is. Obviously, Skeet originated actually in America, but has been adopted very heavily in Europe. And there are so many phenomenally strong countries. Italy, which is not represented here, of course, though we are in Italy actually for this competition, is the home of many of the greatest manufacturers of guns for this sport. And it's really great to see a lot of other countries represented.
Well said. I couldn't have said it better myself. And unfortunately, this concludes this year's 2024 European Shotgun Championships. It is kind of sad that this was the last event. We've had the most amazing time here. We've had some amazing shooting, amazing finals, fantastic performances by a lot of the athletes, and we can just see George Achilleos walk in, being very happy. Well done, George. Thank you so much, Freddie, for joining me and offering some of your expert opinion. It's certainly been a pleasure having you around. Don't look surprised. Yes, thank you so much. In a short time, you will see some highlights from today's Skeet Trio men's gold and bronze medal matches. But unfortunately, I have to say goodbye. I hope that I will be commentating in the future.
And thank you, Elena, for commentating on so many of these events. It's often an overlooked task, but we're very pleased to have had you. And we obviously have the Olympics coming up later on this year that we will see on the ISF channel on YouTube. And that is really the culmination of the season for so many Olympic skeet and Olympic trap athletes. What so many people forget about is that we are all here to try and win an Olympic quota for our nations, to allow them the opportunity to compete at the Olympics, which obviously has been going back since started in the ancient Greek times. And then, of course, it's not just about the individuals that are involved. It's about the countries, it's about the nations, it's about the individual athletes and the way that those are supported here, and what we do to try and continue this sport moving into the future. And so your support, watching on YouTube or on the ESC website, and of course through the ISSF, is really invaluable. And so we'd love to have your comments and feedback on not just this commentary, the way we film and cover these events, and also we'd love to hear any ideas about how you think we could encourage more juniors and more people into the sport.
And thank you so much, Freddie, and it's goodbye from us.
especially for you. Diploma for jury members for their amazing work here during this European Championship 2024. So we have Tamas Inaishvili at the podium. Our maestro, congratulations for your great job here. Applause for Kurt Schobel. Great job here, thank you. Then this Kostaki Xenophontas here for Theodore. applause for her. And she's accompanied by Mr. Daniele Gelfi, competition manager. The bronze medal representing Cyprus goes to Panayota Andreou, Anastasia Eleftheriou, Andriy Eleftheriou. Big applause for them. The silver medal representing Czech Republic goes to Martina Kucherova, Barbara Sumova, and Anna Sinderova. Great round of applause for her. The gold medal representing Germany goes to Isabel Bassin, Valentina Umhofer, and Tamara Reichert. If able to for the national anthem of Germany. in medals will be presented by Mr. Alexander Ratner, ESC President, and first for him. He's accompanied by Mr. Ivan Carrella, President of our organizing committee and our Concavero Shooting Range. So, the bronze medal representing Cyprus goes to Leontis Barnavides, Petros Angloudis, and Georgia Kileos. Applause for them. The silver medal representing Czech Republic goes to Thomas Ndrile, Daniel Korka, Jakub Tomeczek. And the gold medal representing Poland goes to Kasper Baksalari, Viktor Wiecinski, Jakub Elis. Big applause for them. So, ladies and gentlemen, please rise if you're able to for the national anthem of Poland. President Alexander Ratner will take the speech for say thanks to all of you and declare these games closed.
Okay, dear friends, before the photo session is over, Ivan, come here. I would like to thank on behalf of all of you, of all those who are still here, Ivan and his team, the organizing committee, for the perfect organization of this European Championship. We had wonderful competitions. We had a lot of winners from many different countries, also good for everybody. And I wish all of you safe trip home and declare this 2024 European Championship shotgun closed.